this video, we're going to analyze a super good singer. He goes by Kelontae Gavin, and he is phenomenal. He has a range that is very unique and very wide range. I've been requested to do him several times, so I'm trying to hit y'all's requests. So I'm going to analyze Kelontae Gavin singing My Joy by Ty Tribbett. So let's get to the video.
Anybody know that Jesus is your joy? Yeah. You were there? Oh, my nights were cold and lonely.
Yeah. Real good, sir. So he did it no. So he did a registration shift from chest to head in that little lick that did there, okay? And in the beginning, he kind of faded in. He used the mic's acoustics to fade himself in to the sound versus kind of fading out. He kind of grabbed the mic and kind of brought it closer as he was already singing. If you can go back and look, he kind of grabbed the mic and brought it closer as he was singing, and then it kind of faded him in, almost like an ambiance, if you will. Really good. Mic technique is important. It's not just about saying, it's how to use the mic. Holding it in certain places for certain things is key to making sure your sound travels the best way possible.
Shelter from the rain. All I had to do is call your name. Anybody ever been there? Anybody ever been there? You never let me down. No. You told me all my burdens you will bear. Oh, yes, sir. You never leave me nor forsake me, and I'm glad about it. Yes, I am. But I understand you love me. Yes, sir. And for this, we say tonight, Jesus.
So he knows how to navigate through his runs and riffs efficiently and excellently. He is almost playing with the music, almost as if he was tying the music together with his voice. It's almost like he makes ties in the music and in how he executes his runs around the chordal structures of the music. So he's using a lot of yeahs, a lot of do-do-dos, a lot of basic syllables to kind of place his voice and place his pitches at different spots within the music to make it way more musical than what we could have probably even imagined. So this is good.
You are my joy. Can somebody wave your hand if you know Jesus is your joy tonight?
So right there had a little squall right there. You are right there had a little squall. So right there was some glottal onset. So those O's, each O had a glottal onset. And so he articulated each pitch with a glottal onset. He did that so that each pitch could be clean and clear in execution. Those glottal onsets are very sharp and very percussive. So the percussiveness of the glottal onsets makes the voice sound way more sharp in intentionality versus just kind of doing a rundown and coming back up, okay?
Come on, you ought to rock if you know it. Your strength is perfect when I'm weak and small. Yes, sir. Your strength is made perfect in my weakness. Thank you for the love you give to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for your grace.
So So he did thank you for your, so he let the R color navigate that beginning of that lick that he did right there. So that R color navigated the lick and made the sound change, the timbre change, because it kind of warmed it up but still made it brassy. It wasn't warm and with a whole bunch of depth, but it had the warmth of the covered R or the rounded R, the shape here in the mouth, but the R color inside the mouth, how he shaped the R inside, made the R color kind of enhance his voice. And when he went up, he kind of got a little more of a smile in there and kind of more of a bite. And then he kind of came back down and the smile went away because the higher notes are probably more efficient for him to sing, kind of opening up versus trying to keep everything warm. So it's navigating through your voice and knowing how to do what you need to do when you need to do it. This is good.
Yes, sir.
Another squall.
When all of these should make me sad. Anybody go rejoice in the midst of it all? I will be rejoicing. I will bless the Lord at all times, and His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Let's make a big choir say, yes, sir.
So he added that squall at the end of that run right there. He kind of did a run up, and then he kind of went up, got a little bite, a little bright here with a little bite, and then he added that squall at the end of that run. Another squall. He said, my Georgia. That was very John P. Key, Marvin Sapp, that era. Yeah, Commission. Yeah, that era. That was very that. That slide up was very Vanessa Bell Armstrong in approach. This is good. He went a little more rounded when he went down and then brought the vowels a little more open and bright as he navigated back up into the higher parts of that run right there, and then he came back down. So he's really having fun and playing with the music at this point. I mean, he's just going to town and I love it. I love it. So if you notice when he goes up in his higher voice, he doesn't have a lot of weight. He's open space in the molars. So the sound is still right on in here, but it's not heavy because you can't take a lot of heaviness, a lot of weight going higher. Think about an airplane. I always use this analogy. If you think about an airplane that has a weight limit, the closer you get to the weight limit, the harder it is for it to take off. Same thing with your voice. The more weight you try to bring up when you try to go high, it's going to be harder for you to execute those high notes. And to go a step further, you are loud as a result of going high, because higher frequencies are heard louder to the human ear than lower frequencies. So think about a choir. You have your sopranos, altos, and tenors in a gospel choir. Most times the sopranos are smaller and the tenors are bigger. Why? Because sopranos are heard louder to the ear than tenors. So you don't need as many sopranos to sing in a choir as you need tenors, because if you had the same amount of sopranos and tenors, the sopranos would drown out the whole choir because their frequencies are much higher than altos and tenors. So you always have a smaller group of sopranos, a bigger group of altos, and the biggest group of tenors, or usually altos and tenors are about the same or something like that. In a perfect world. This is not every choir, not every group, but in a perfect world, acoustically, you want a smaller number of sopranos because it will balance out the loudness and the warmth in the altos and tenors. Too many sopranos, you're gonna drown out the rest of the choir. That's just acoustically and scientifically speaking, okay? That's it. He migrated so much through those runs that I am not going to even attempt to try to do what he did vocally. But what he did, if you notice, he went up high, had a bright open vowel, then he went down below, kind of got dark a little bit, then came back even higher. And so what he's doing is also being very ambitious and very risky. And not risk as in he's about to make a mistake, but risk as in he's taking risk. He's going for everything. He's singing his heart out. A lot of times we limit ourselves because we don't want to sing because you're scared to sound bad. We're scared to be too loud. We're scared to be this and that and the third. But honestly, on the other side of those risks, on the other side of that fear is some great art, some great vocal art that can be taking place. But because you're so scared to do it, you retreat and you go back to what you know, which is human nature. I get it. It's human nature to want to go back and do what you want to do. But if you go on the other side of that fear, just go for it. These singers that are famous and that are well known, a lot of them are risk takers. And as a result of taking risks, they do things that we would not ever think to do. But they are risky enough and skilled enough and gifted enough to do the risky things and to make it happen. And that's what he did in that run. He just went for everything. And he migrated through those vowels to make sure his voice traveled the best way possible through that. But he also colored it in a way that it was stylistic to him. The dark round vowels down below, but that grit, that bite up top, that's also stylistic to him, what he likes to do and how he likes to present songs. He's true to himself.
Look at somebody, tell him I'm so glad. Please look at your neighbor, tell him I'm so glad. That this joy that I had, the world didn't give it to me. Yeah, the world couldn't take it away. Can somebody give Jesus the loudest shout and shout, shout, shout,
Let me tell y'all something. If I was there in person, I would have gone crazy. I'm already a shouter and a dancer and a praiser in the first place. Oh, I would have lost my ever Jesus loving mind in that place. So all in all, he's really using his acoustics and his resonance to really execute what he wants to do vocally in his songs. And so as a result, he can go high and go low. He's also very gifted and innately gifted and gifted by God. So, but he's using those techniques that he has developed for himself to give the squalls, to go up high and down low and back up again. And so that navigation requires skill and gifting. It's not just something you can wake up and do, although he probably woke up and did it himself. But in terms of develop it, it's a point of really understanding how to use your voice and being aware of how to execute these things so you can do everything that you want to do vocally. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, click subscribe down below and click the alert button next to it so you know when the next video is posted. And submit your requests in the comments too, because I'm reading them, I promise y'all. Remember to be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, above everything you do with this, be vocally you. All right, y'all, until next time.